Mia walked slowly through the busy market. People moved around her, laughing, talking, and buying things. But Mia didn't smile. She looked nervous. She held her phone tightly in her hand and kept glancing over her shoulder again and again. She wore round glasses, a plain hoodie, and black jeans. Her hair was tied in a simple ponytail. She looked like a shy teenage girl, alone, quiet, and maybe even a little scared. A man across the street noticed her. He wore a gray hoodie, kept his head low, and followed her with his eyes. He watched how she walked, how she looked behind, how she clutched her phone. To him, she looked like an easy target. Mia didn't stop. She moved past the fruit stalls, the spice sellers, and the small food carts. She looked straight ahead but stayed alert. Her heart beat faster, but her steps stayed calm. Then her fingers began to move, slowly, quietly. She wasn't typing. She wasn't calling anyone. She was signaling. It looked like nothing to others, just a girl fidgeting with her hands, but each movement had meaning. Thumb tap, index finger curl, middle finger brush. Code 1. Someone is following. Pinky flick, thumb tap again. Stay calm. Prepare. Mia had learned these signals from her father. He wasn't just any man. He was a SWAT officer, trained for danger, skilled in control. And since Mia was 10 years old, he had been training her too. At home, in secret. While other kids learned games, Mia learned how to fight fear. Back in the market, the man in the hoodie started walking. Slowly, following Mia. At first, he pretended to look at the stalls. He touched some oranges, asked for prices, and smiled at strangers. But his eyes never left Mia. He crossed the street when she did. He paused when she did. He kept the same distance, never too close, never too far. Mia turned left and entered a narrow path between two old shops. It was a shortcut to the bus stop. The man followed, keeping his head low. No one else was on that path. Just broken bricks, trash, and silence. Mia's breathing slowed. Her steps became lighter. She reached into her pocket, not for her phone, but for a small whistle. Not a normal one. This one made no sound to the human ear, but her dog at home would have heard it. It was part of the training. She didn't blow it now. Not yet, but it was ready in her hand. The man quickened his pace. Now he was just 10 steps behind. Mia could hear his shoes scraping the broken ground. She didn't look back this time. She didn't need to. She could feel him. And she trusted her training. As she walked, she pressed a small button on her phone side. Silent alert. Another trick her dad taught her. It sent her live location to her father's phone, just in case. Then she moved her fingers again. Middle finger rub, thumb press, 2 taps. Code 2. Danger confirmed. Get ready. She stopped walking and bent down, pretending to tie her shoeless. Her backpack slipped a little from her shoulder. She fixed it and looked at the wall beside her. There was a metal pole. Old, rusted, but strong. Behind her, the man smiled. He thought she was scared. He thought he would win. But he didn't know. He was walking into a trap. Mia tied her shoes slowly, buying time. Her eyes didn't move, but her ears listened carefully. 8 steps. 7. 6. Then she stood up again and started walking. Calm. Normal. But inside her mind, the clock was ticking. Tick. 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 Every second, her father's voice echoed inside her. Control your fear, Mia. If you panic, you lose. If you breathe, you win. She took one slow breath in, then one breath out. The man reached into his pocket. Something shiny. Maybe a key, maybe a knife. She didn't know yet, but she was ready. He made his move, and Mia didn't run. The man took a slow step forward. His hoodie covered most of his face, but his eyes were sharp, focused. He had followed many girls before, but something about this one felt different. Still, he told himself, She's alone, small, and scared. An easy job. Mia, just steps ahead, didn't speed up. She kept walking at the same pace, like she hadn't noticed anything. But inside her mind, everything was moving fast. Her heartbeat, her thoughts, her memories of her dad's voice. Danger doesn't shout, Mia. It whispers, and when it whispers, you listen. She listened. She heard the man's footsteps change. First soft, now heavier, faster. He was getting closer. She moved her fingers again in small patterns, sending silent signals. Her training wasn't just about fighting, it was about thinking. She passed an old trash bin and a pile of bricks. She remembered this area. Her dad had once brought her here for practice. If you're cornered, use the place around you. Anything can become a weapon, even fear. Maya looked weak from the outside, but inside, she was calculating. The man reached into his pocket again. This time, his fingers touched a cold, hard metal. It wasn't a key. It was a small knife. He didn't plan to use it unless she screamed. But he liked control. He liked fear. He whispered, "Hey, miss." Mia stopped walking. She didn't turn around. She didn't run. She slowly turned her head slightly to the side and said, "Yes." The man smiled. "You dropped something," he lied. Maya looked at his hand. Empty. She replied, "No, I don't think I did." He stepped closer. Too close. Now only a few feet stood between them. "I saw it fall near that corner," he said, pointing behind her. His voice was fake kind, but his eyes were full of hunger. Mia's eyes lowered to his shoes. Worn out, dirty sneakers. A small tattoo peeked out above his ankle. A snake wrapped around a dagger. She remembered that design from her dad's warning book. That symbol belonged to a known street group, violent men with dark records. Now she was sure. He wasn't just a man. He was a criminal. She softly said, "Thank you. I'll check." And then, she bent down, just like before. But this time, it wasn't to tie her shoelace. Her fingers moved quickly inside her backpack. She pulled out a small metal pen. It wasn't a real pen. It was a hidden safety tool. Her father gave it to her last year. Strong enough to break glass. Sharp enough to save a life. She hid it in her sleeve and stood up again. The man stepped even closer. "Don't be scared. I'm just trying to help," he said, pretending to smile. But Mia wasn't scared. She was silent. And silence was power. Suddenly, she dropped her phone. The man's eyes followed it for a second. Just 1 second. That was enough. Mia turned sharply and moved to the side, keeping her back against the wall. Now she could see him clearly. His fake smile disappeared. She looked at him and said quietly, "You chose the wrong girl." He blinked. "What?" Then he stepped forward, angry now. "Listen, just." But he didn't finish, because Maya's knee shot up into his thigh. Not high, not wild, just enough to shake his balance. Her dad had told her, "Don't try to win a fight. Try to escape it smart." The man growled in pain and dropped his knife. It hit the ground with a sharp clink. Mia didn't wait. She kicked the knife away with her foot. Then she raised her pen and pointed it at him. "I've already sent my location," she said. "My dad will be here soon." The man looked around. For the first time, he looked nervous. He saw no one. He heard sirens in the far distance. He stepped back. But Mia stepped forward. "Go," she said. He turned and ran. Mia took a deep breath and finally picked up her phone. A new message blinked on her screen. "Dad, got your signal. I'm on my way. Stay alert." She smiled just a little. The danger was gone. For now. But Mia knew this was not over. Because men like him don't stop easily. Mia stood still in the narrow path, her breathing slowly returning to normal. The market's noise was far behind her now, and the footsteps of the man had faded into silence. But inside her, a storm was still moving. She had done everything right. She had stayed calm, used her training, escaped safely. But something still felt wrong. Her fingers moved again, one quick code to her dad through the phone. "I'm safe." But he ran. "Be alert." A few moments later, her phone vibrated. "Dad, stay there. I'm coming. Don't move." She knew her dad would come fast. But she also knew the man would not stop. Men like him don't just run away forever. They hide. They watch. They wait. She checked the time. 4:38 p.m. The sun was beginning to fall. Shadows were growing longer. She had 30 minutes until her bus home. And the waiting made her more anxious than the attack. Suddenly, she heard a sound behind the trash bin. A soft creak, like a shoe on metal. Her heart jumped. Mia gripped the pen tool tighter in her hand. She stepped back against the wall. The path was empty, but that sound, it was real. "Who's there?" she called, voice strong. No answer. She took a slow step forward and peeked around the bin. It wasn't the man. It was a boy, maybe 10 or 11 years old. Thin, dirty clothes. He looked scared and frozen in place. His eyes were wide. His hands were shaking. Mia softened her voice. "It's okay. I'm not going to hurt you." The boy didn't move. She crouched down a little. "Are you hiding?" Still no reply. Then she saw it. A small cut on his arm. Blood. Her mind raced. What was he doing here? Was he running too? Did he see the man? She gently asked, "Did someone hurt you?" The boy finally nodded. Slowly. Maya felt her stomach twist. This wasn't just about her anymore. That man. Maybe he had followed others before. Maybe this child was one of them. "What's your name?" she asked. The boy whispered, "Leo." "Okay, Leo. I'm Mia. You're safe now." Leo's eyes moved around nervously. "He said he'd come back." "Who?" Leo looked at her and whispered, "The man in the hoodie." Mia froze. He had come back, but not for her. For someone else. Leo continued, "He saw me. I tried to hide. But he hit me. Then he heard you coming and left me here." Mia's mind connected everything. The man wasn't scared of her. He just got interrupted. He had been following Leo. Maybe both of them. And now, he could be anywhere. She stood up fast and texted her dad again. "Found a boy. Hurt. Same man attacked him. Still nearby." A reply came quickly. "Understood. Police on the way. Find safe spot. Do not engage." Mia looked around. The shadows were thicker now. The sky darker. She took Leo's hand. "Come on. We're getting out of here." They moved quickly, back toward the market. But every few steps, Maya looked behind. She had a bad feeling. And bad feelings, her father always said, are worth listening to. They reached the open street again. People were still shopping, laughing, buying food. No one knew what had just happened a few blocks away. Mia guided Leo behind a stall and let him sit on a wooden crate. She handed him her small bottle of water. He drank it quickly. "You were really brave," she said. Leo looked up. "You were braver." Mia tried to smile, but she couldn't. Not yet. Suddenly, her phone vibrated again. "Unknown number. I see you." Her hands froze. She opened the message. There was a photo. It was taken from a distance. In the picture, Mia and Leo were sitting near the fruit stall. Her blood ran cold. The man wasn't gone. He was watching. Right now. Somewhere close. She looked up fast, scanned the crowd. Her eyes searched every face. A man buying bread. A woman picking vegetables. A group of teenagers laughing. But she didn't see the man in the hoodie. Then her phone buzzed again. "Unknown number. Should have kept walking, little hero. Now I know your face." Maya stood up. Her heart was racing again, but not from fear this time. From fire. The man had made a mistake. He had threatened her. He had hurt a child. And now, he was still playing games. But Mia wasn't a game. She turned to Leo. "We're not just running anymore." He looked confused. "What do you mean?" She looked around and whispered, "We're going to find him." Mia held her phone tightly, her eyes locked on the last message. "Now I know your face." She looked around again. People were everywhere, walking, laughing, talking. But danger was hiding in plain sight. Somewhere, the man was watching, and he was bold enough to send her a message while standing nearby. Mia wasn't just scared anymore. She was focused. She turned to Leo. "Stay behind me. Don't talk. Just follow." Leo nodded quickly. He could see it in her eyes. This girl wasn't running. She was planning. Mia slowly walked out from behind the stall, scanning each person in the crowd. She checked hands, faces, movement. Her dad had taught her something long ago. When a threat hides in a crowd, don't look at their face. Look at their behavior. Fear leaves clues. So does guilt. And then she saw him, far near the bus stop, not wearing the hoodie now. He had taken it off and tied it around his waist. He was pretending to be on the phone. He had changed his shirt too, now in a light color. But Mia noticed one thing he hadn't changed: the tattoo near his ankle, the snake around the dagger. She turned away fast so he wouldn't see her looking. He's still here, still watching. Mia sent a quick message to her dad. "Target at bus stop. Changed shirt, same tattoo. Watching us." Reply came fast. "Back up on the way. Do not approach. Stay hidden." But Mia had another plan. She looked at Leo. "You see that store over there?" she whispered, pointing to a small toy shop nearby. Leo nodded. "Go inside. Stay behind the shelves. Don't come out till I get you." Leo hesitated. "What about you?" She smiled slightly. "I'm trained for this. You're not." Leo nodded and ran quickly into the store. Now Mia was alone. She stepped to the side, near the flower stall, and picked up a small mirror hanging for decoration. Slowly, she held it beside her and used it to watch behind her without turning around. The man was still at the bus stop, but now he was moving toward her, step by step. He didn't know she had seen him. He thought she was still unaware, still weak, still an easy target. But this time, Mia had a plan of her own. She turned and walked quickly down the alley next to the market, not running, just fast enough to tempt him, to pull him in. She glanced at her phone. "Dad, where are you?" she replied, setting a trap. The alley was empty and quiet, walls on both sides, a perfect place for both danger and control. She reached the center and stopped, waited, and then, footsteps. He had followed. She didn't turn around. She just stood still, like a frightened girl. "Lost again." The man's voice echoed behind her. Mia closed her eyes. 3 seconds. 2. 1. She turned slowly and said, "No, I'm right where I need to be." The man laughed. "That little act in the market, not bad. But you're alone now. No people, no help, just you and me." Mia didn't smile. She took a step back, but not out of fear. She was guiding him, closer to the spot where the security camera on the corner could see clearly. Let him speak. Let the camera record. Let him expose himself. He stepped forward again. "Why help that little brat anyway? He's nobody. You could have just walked away." Maya replied coldly, "Because I'm not like you." The man pulled out the same knife from earlier. "Then you'll end up the same way. Hurt, alone, and no one will care." Click. The sound came not from him, but from behind him. A second later, loud, firm voices followed. "Drop the weapon. Hands in the air. Step away from the girl." 4 officers stormed into the alley, surrounding the man. He froze, shocked. His eyes darted around, confused, angry. Set me up, he growled at Mia. She finally smiled. You set yourself up. The man tried to run, but he didn't get far. 2 officers tackled him to the ground. The knife slid away. The man screamed in rage as cuffs were locked on his wrists. Maya stepped back, breathing deeply. Her hands were still shaking, but she had done it. She didn't just escape. She fought back. She planned. She won. A moment later, her dad appeared, running toward her. He pulled her into a tight hug. You okay? He asked quickly. She nodded. I'm okay now. Where's the boy? In the toy store. Safe. He looked at her proudly. You didn't just survive. Mia, you took control. Mia looked at the man being dragged away and said, he thought I was weak, but he forgot something. Her dad raised an eyebrow. What? She smiled. I'm your daughter. The man sat alone in the small interview room. His hands were cuffed to the table. The room was cold, with just one light above. His face was full of anger and confusion. He thought she was an easy target, a nervous girl in glasses, quiet, alone. But now he was behind a locked door, and Mia was free. The door opened. Detective Harris walked in with Mia's father. Both were serious. Both had seen men like him before. Too confident, too cruel, too proud. We have your phone, the detective said calmly, placing it on the table. We've seen the messages, the photo, the threats. The man looked away. And we have camera footage, the detective continued. In the alley, at the market. And most importantly, he placed another item on the table. We have her voice. He hit play on a small recording device. It was Mia's voice, strong and clear. You thought I was weak, but you forgot something. I'm my father's daughter. The man flinched. She played you, Mia's dad said coldly. Like a pro. The man laughed suddenly. You think this is over? One little girl stopped me. You don't know how many I followed. How many never made it out. The room went quiet. Then the detective said, you just confessed. The man's smile faded. You think you're smart, the detective added, but smart men don't brag in police stations. Just then, there was a knock at the door. A young officer entered. Sir, the boy is ready to talk. Mia's father turned to the man. You hurt that child. That's more than one charge now. The man looked nervous for the first time. He knew it was getting worse. Meanwhile, Mia sat with Leo in a quiet room at the station. He had a blanket around his shoulders, a hot chocolate in his hand, and a bandage on his arm. But his eyes were still filled with fear. You're safe now, Maya told him softly. Leo looked at her. Why did you help me? Mia thought for a moment. Because someone once helped me. Leo blinked. You were scared too. Mia nodded. Yes. Years ago, a stranger followed me home after school. I froze, didn't know what to do. But my dad found me just in time. She smiled a little. Since then, he taught me how to stay calm, how to send signals, how to fight, not with fists, but with plans. Leo whispered, I wish I had someone like that. Mia reached into her pocket and took out a small keychain. It had the letter M on it. She placed it in Leo's hand. You do now. Keep this, and next time you're scared, remember, you're not alone. Leo held the keychain tightly. For the first time, he smiled. Later, Mia sat outside the police station with her dad. The sky was dark now. Stars were out. The night was quiet. You did something brave today, her dad said. You followed every rule, stayed calm, and even protected someone else. Mia sighed. But I was scared. Her dad looked at her seriously. Being scared doesn't mean you're weak. It means you understand danger. But facing fear, standing up, that's real strength. Mia leaned her head on his shoulder. I thought I was ready, she whispered. Her dad smiled. You were. There was a pause. Then Maya asked, will he go to jail? Yes, her dad replied. And because of you, maybe others will be safe too. Mia nodded. I just hope Leo forgets this one day. Her dad looked up at the stars. He won't forget, but he'll grow stronger because of it, just like you. That night, back at home, Mia sat by her window. Her phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Her heart jumped, but when she opened it, she smiled. It was Leo. Thank you for being my hero. I want to be brave like you someday. Mia replied. You already are. She looked outside at the quiet street. She had been tested. She had faced fear. And in the end, she didn't just survive. She became someone else's reason to believe. It had been 3 days since the market incident. Life was slowly going back to normal. Mia was back at school. She sat by the window in class, listening to the teacher but not really focusing. Her mind kept going back to the alley, the man's face, and Leo's scared eyes. Everyone around her thought it was over. But something inside Mia felt strange, uneasy. During lunch, she checked her phone. No new messages. She sighed in relief. Just then, her phone buzzed. One new message. Unknown number. Her heart skipped a beat. She slowly opened it. You're brave, but you didn't stop all of us. Her hands went cold. She looked around the schoolyard. Everything looked normal. Kids playing, laughing, talking. But now it didn't feel safe. Was someone watching her? At home, Maya showed the message to her dad. He looked at it, then at her. Same writing style. Different number. This might be someone else connected to the man we caught. Mia felt a chill. There's more. Her dad nodded slowly. We always suspected he wasn't working alone. He made a call to the police station right away. Traced the number. Checked the phone records from the suspect. See who else he contacted. Mia sat quietly on the couch, hugging a pillow. How can I go to school like this? She asked. Her dad sat beside her. You're not alone this time. The school will be informed. Officers will be nearby. And I'll teach you more. Not just how to spot danger, but how to face it. Mia looked up at him. What if they come after Leo too? Her dad paused. Then we make sure they never get close. That evening, Maya visited Leo. He was staying with a kind foster family now, safe and cared for. When she arrived, he ran to the door and hugged her tightly. I've been drawing something for you, he said excitedly. He showed her a picture, a small girl standing in front of a shadow, holding a flashlight. The light was strong, and behind her, a boy was standing safe. That's you, he said. And that's me. Mia smiled, but her eyes filled with tears. You're strong, Leo, she said. Even when you're scared, you fight. Leo frowned. Is the bad guy gone forever? Mia hesitated, then said gently, the one from the market is gone, but someone else might still be out there. Leo held her hand. If he comes back, we'll fight together. Mia nodded slowly. Yes, together. Back at home, Mia's dad received an update. He looked serious as he ended the call and turned to Mia. That number, the new one, it was traced to a stolen phone. No name, no ID. But what? Maya asked. There's a pattern. The man we caught had been texting someone just days before. That number matches this one. Mia sat down. So it's real. Someone else is watching. Her dad pulled up a map. Last signal from that phone came from near your school. Mia's heart pounded. I want to help, she said. I can help find them. Her dad looked at her carefully. This isn't a game, Mia. I know, she replied, but this is personal now. The next morning, Mia left for school wearing a small hidden camera on her jacket. Her dad followed at a distance, pretending to be a regular pedestrian. She looked around carefully all day, at every face, every corner, every car parked too long. Nothing. Until after school. She was walking out when a car slowly drove past. The windows were slightly tinted. She couldn't see the face, but she saw the same tattoo, the snake around a dagger. Not on an ankle this time, but on a hand holding the wheel. She quickly whispered into the black car, tattoo on hand, heading west on 7th Street. Her dad replied instantly, following now. Stay with your friends. Don't go alone. Mia joined her classmates and pretended everything was fine. But deep inside, she knew something bigger had started. That night, her dad returned with news. We followed the car. It disappeared in an old parking lot. No cameras. Whoever it is, they're trained too. Mia asked softly, "Are they coming for me?" Her dad didn't answer right away. Then he said, "They're testing you, watching your moves, looking for your weakness." Mia stood up. "Then let's show them I don't have one." It was Saturday evening. The sky was dark, and a light rain had started. Streets were quiet. The city seemed to be holding its breath. Inside a black van, Mia sat beside her father. She wore a black jacket, a hidden mic, and a small camera in her necklace. Her hands were cold, but her eyes were focused. Tonight, they had a plan. Police officers waited nearby in unmarked cars. Cameras were set on every corner. The trap was ready. And Mia was the bait. They were going back to the same market, the place where it all began. "Are you sure?" her father asked again. "You don't have to do this." Mia looked at him. "They already followed me, sent messages, drove past my school. If I don't help now, someone else might get hurt." Her father nodded with pride, but his eyes were full of worry. Mia stepped out of the van. The market looked different at night. Darker, colder, but she kept walking. Slow, calm, like nothing was wrong. A small earpiece in her ear let her hear the police. "All units, eyes on the girl. Stay sharp." She walked past the fruit stall, past the old bakery, then stopped near a bench and waited. Minutes passed. Then she saw him. Not the same man from before, but something about him felt familiar. The way he walked, the way he scanned the area. He had a scarf covering his face and wore a black hoodie. Mia turned slowly and walked toward the alley. She knew he would follow. She entered the alley and pretended to tie her shoeless. Her heart raced. Her breathing was fast, but she remembered her training. She whispered into the mic, "He's here." In the alley, approaching. But suddenly, the man moved fast. He grabbed her arm. "No more games," he said coldly. "You should have stayed quiet." Before Mia could reply, a voice shouted from behind, "Drop her. Now." Her father stood at the end of the alley, gun drawn, badge out. Behind him, 3 officers moved in quickly. The man tried to run, but Mia kicked him hard in the leg, just like her dad had taught her. He fell, and the police were on him in seconds. Cuffed, pinned, caught. Back at the station, the man sat silent. But this time, police had more than just fear. They had proof. In his bag, they found photos, names, notes about children. It was a list, and Mia's name was on it. Her father looked at her in shock. They were planning something bigger. Mia whispered, "How many were there?" Detective Harris replied, "We don't know yet, but this guy was the leader's brother." Everything made sense now. The message she got, the second one, it was personal. Revenge. Later that night, Mia and her father sat quietly on their couch. The storm outside had passed. The rain stopped. "You were amazing," her dad said. Mia shook her head. "I was scared." "But you didn't run," he replied. "You stood your ground. You helped stop something terrible." Mia looked out the window. "Do you think it's over?" Her father paused. "I think this chapter is." Then he added, "But even if more trouble comes, you won't face it alone." She leaned against him and smiled. For the first time in days, she felt peace. A few days later, Mia walked into her school, her bag on one shoulder. Kids ran around her, laughing. Teachers waved. Then someone ran up to her. It was Leo. He handed her a small envelope. "I wrote you something." She opened it. Inside was a simple drawing. A small shield with an M in the center. Under it were 4 words. "My hero, my friend." Mia hugged him tight. "No matter what happens, Leo," she said softly, "you're safe now, and I'll always be here." That night, as she sat on her bed, Maya thought about everything. The market, the message, the alley, the face of the second man. But what stayed in her heart was Leo's smile and the words he wrote. She had started as just a quiet girl with glasses. But when danger came, her father's training kicked in. Her courage rose, and her heart guided her. She wasn't just someone's daughter anymore. She was a protector, a fighter, a symbol of strength, and maybe even a little bit of a hero.